So to those that may have caught this video on a replay, sorry about that. So for those that may be catching this video on a replay, I'm just giving it a few minutes. There was a couple people in my other stream watching, and I wanted to make sure they had a few minutes to get in here. I'm in no exact quick rush to play. We'll probably be starting at roughly the 3-minute mark of the video. So if you just want to kind of skip ahead, that'll be around the part where we'll be starting up the tournament. So kind of look at the clubs we got going on here. We got some yellow lineage again. The flames. Flames. It's kind of crazy. It doesn't even show you're in here. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my browser here. Hopefully that'll fix it. There we go. I was wondering if what I was looking at was really happening. That was a little scary. It was just showing a big loading symbol there. Alright. About another 30 seconds, we'll go ahead and hop in. I kind of announced it would be at the video 3-minute mark, so. We'll go ahead and get it ready. Soon, Masters. Soon I will be there. Well, we're at 3 minutes, so we can go ahead and hop on in. All right. Make sure we got the right clubs selected for this hole. Happy with that selection. Let's see if I can get lucky again on this hole. Rookie round. Darn close to hitting that fairway on the drive. Went ahead and was successful in pro. We'll see what experts got in store for me. Ooh, the left to right wind, eh? Some semblance of headwind, but not much. Pretty darn risky. To go for it or not to go for it? That is the question. My opponent's shot will give me a good idea. Because he's got about the same distance on his extra mile as I have on my Apocalypse. Oh yeah, we're going safe route. I could be risky and use the earth ball, but I think if anything, I'll save that for weekend round if I get there. And we will just play this pretty standard and straight up here. Let's just use Navigator. Come right around there. Come right around there. Should be okay, I think. Yeah, can't ask for much more, really. Center of the fairway. Have a stab at it. A little harder than the wedge shot I had last account, but can't be going for those all the time. Got to get good with your short iron, too. Although I don't know what it is about this hole, but I have a hard time adjusting. The wind seems to really overplay here, and I'm not sure what causes it. You know, I understand on the drive you got the water to the right, but coming in from the left, there's a lot of land in the way before you get to water, so I'm not sure if that is what is affecting it or not. But I mean, I've had like 12-mile-an-hour rings, or 12-mile-an-hour winds, move my rings like, you know, a solid 6.5 rings, and the thorn at this level is only 1.8 per ring, so 12 should really be just over 6 rings. You know, 6.5, about right. So it should have been on, and it was still like 3 or 4 yards to the side. So I don't know, I'm going to assume there's a little extra wind play, and I'm going to use that here. Not too much. So that's 10.4. I think I'm going to go with the measurement for like 11.2, which is 6 rings. Great. We'll never know. Seems closer. You know, perfect would have been real close at the very least. Still feels a little hot, so it might need a slight bit more adjustment than that. So, you know, we're talking like 10%. It's not crazy, but there's a little fluctuation from that and a normal shot. So unfortunately, well, you might think it's unfortunate. You might enjoy that I have to play all my shootouts, but I kind of have to at this stage right now with this account. I've just had some funny streaks. You know, times where you just can't win no matter what. So I've pretty much been hovering at the same spot for like 2 months. It's kind of ridiculous. So I think I need to start trying to take a little bit of my coins from tournaments that I can, because I've been giving them up pretty freely for the last few. And especially in expert, it's a lot harder to place in the top. You know, there's a lot of variation in like the pro and rookie brackets, it seems like, where you'll have some accounts getting like, you know, there's 10 people on their list with minus 14 when we're talking, you know, opening or weekend round 18 holes. So minus 28. So I'm an advocate of taking this shot over here with the headwind. Pretty much want as much backspin as we can do. Not quite. So we're going to take off just about a ring for not being at max distance here. A little too much backspin. Really like that way of taking this hole with headwind when you're talking 8+. Alright, so now is the par 2 for real. Pretty confident we're not going to have to switch out of anything, so we will keep the sniper out. Interesting. So with the right to left, I actually think I'm still going to take that right side. Let's see if I can get it pinpoint. It's a little tricky to get it pinpoint because you have to curl, which makes lining up your ball guide much, much harder. I've hit it once from the right. I've only been really trying it though for maybe 3 weeks. So one time out of 3 weeks is not terrible. Considering I'm sure I only draw this hole maybe once a day or something like that. So we're going to go that. Actually, almost, we're going to only half a bar less than last time. But we also don't have, I actually want to go should be okay. I should have switched from the stupid navigator way earlier. Was not really thinking about it. And I could have had a little more time to line my shot up properly, but easy birdie. Not upset about it. Plus, you don't want to use up all your good luck on the weekend or qualifier. That's for damn sure. It sucks when you play a qualifier, you know, you hit your hole-in-ones, you hit a couple like albatrosses, and then you get to the opening and weekend round and it's all straight birdies and eagles, and you're just underimpressed because you hit so much better in the qualifier. Alright, just because it's a shootout and the wind is in the wrong direction to be playing the normal route here, I'm going to go ahead and have fun. The sad thing is this is the best way to try for the hole-in-one, but it's also the easiest way to end up out of bounds, which is just such a big risk on the real hole. Risk reward, and it's a good reward, but it's a real bad risk because then you're pretty much guaranteed a par. Fortunately, it's one of the last holes. So this might be one of those times where, you know, you just kind of have to base it. Like if you have to get an eagle here and an eagle on the next hole or on the 9th hole, or birdie here and albatross there, but you need the 4 strokes. You absolutely need it. At least it's towards the end of the round, and you can maybe make that judgment call if it's worth it to take the risk. But generally speaking, don't take risks in tournaments that are going to put you behind if you mess up. If you take a risk into a rough and your rough shot is still to the green, that's okay. That's a pretty modest risk. But a water hazard is not. You just don't want to risk it. So I believe this is where I'm going to try the rock this time. If I find out I am not remembering the holes correctly, I will back out. Oh no, we're playing hole 3. That's hole 4. I want that rock. Apocalypse. And on this one in particular, ooh, I don't know that it's true. I'm going to bring the Cataclysm because I don't know what the wind is like. And if I have to lay up short here, I'm going to want that Cataclysm on the second shot. We've had tailwind on almost every hole in Pro and Rookie, so I keep going to the assumption it's going to be tailwind again, and it's clearly not been. The wind's been much different here in Expert than it was in Pro and Rookie, which is to be expected. Generally speaking, it's good players up here. Sometimes people get lucky and make it up to Expert that really don't have the skill to be there, but most cases, the people that are in Expert and Masters are going to be decent golfers. They have a decent grasp on the game. All right. We don't want him. I think we're going to go Kingsmaker here. We're just going to go just over 3 bars of topspin. We're going to line up our 8.7 to be roughly a ring or two, a ring and a half away from the rough. So that's going to be there, so we want to be about there. Just allow a little room for error. You still got to hit perfect, but there we go. And when you do that, when you leave yourself room to the left like that, you want to make sure you don't hit great to the right, because that's how you end up going into the rough to the right. You could alternatively play right onto the line of the rough, leaving you no room for error to the left, and then great to the right is chances going to be safe. This actually was not the hole I was expecting, so kind of went at it all wrong bringing the Cataclysm, but that's all right. It's not going to ruin my shot, but would have liked to have my sniper here. It probably still wasn't really a bad thing to bring the Cataclysm just in case I have straight headwind here, because that could be rough. We don't, so it's all right, but we're max right here. We're not going anywhere near max. There's mid, so we're going to be closer to mid, just under mid. The Cataclysm at mid is roughly 2.3 ring, so something like 7.5 or 3.5 rings. And we're just going to give a touch of curl, not much. The curl is hopefully to straighten out the ball from the wind's natural curl. Not bad. Like I said, I would have liked the sniper there, but still going to walk away with an eagle. Can't be upset. What's the best score you've seen so far through 9? Yep, minus 15 is the best I've seen so far, too. That's going to be real tough to beat. Like, I know a lot of people, there's probably going to be way more minus 15s than there will be translated into minus 30s. Because someone's going to make mistakes. You know, there's too many drives in this course that if you just happen to not hit it quite right, even just great, it could really, really hurt your hole. Real tight lines you have to hit. So people are going to make mistakes here and there, but there's a lot of recovery opportunity too. So there's still going to be some really good scores, but I feel like that minus 30 is still going to be pretty hard to catch. I have a feeling the top score we'll see for everything when all is said and done is like maybe a minus 31, minus 32. Granted, I haven't watched any Masters yet, so I don't know what wins they have. You know, Tommy was talking about potentially having a par 5 you could hole in one, so who knows, but I feel like minus 30 is a pretty good estimate for a high across most boards. I know I've got a friend that played Masters earlier today, and he said his whole bracket was minus 8, minus 9. You know, there was no one that really crushed it, so I'm guessing the wind was set up pretty tricky for them. So this is one I'm going to take here. So generally speaking, left to right, I'm going on the left. Right to left, I'm going on the right. Headwind on the right. Tailwind on the left. That is how I prefer to go with this one. I didn't see RJ. I saw him streaming earlier, but he was just doing friendlies, I thought, practicing for the tournament. I'm not sure what you mean. Do you watch his chat too or something, and it's just the chat's going too crazy? Or the people in the background, or... Yeah, I gotcha. I like his streams for the most part, you know. Nothing against him or what he does or anything. I just feel like there's kind of a gap between his skill level and Tommy's skill level, and I'm hoping I can kind of fill that spot. I feel like that's about where I'm at. You know, I'm not quite to the master level yet, but clearly well past rookie and pro, so... wanted to make sure. I was thinking I didn't have my clubs, but I know I do. Yeah, I mean, RJ's got good information. He may have newly stumbled across a lot of this information, but like I know he really, really just started learning the ring system not too long ago. So he still uses it. He uses it on a very general basis, which is not a bad way to go at it. But for people looking to really, really, really get to the nitty-gritty of it, I'm not sure he can help them. I may be wrong. You know, I don't know what he knows, but just kind of what I've gathered from what I've watched so far. And I honestly find him, you know, a little more entertaining than Tommy. Tommy's fun and goofy, but RJ seems to at least he engages with people a little more, I feel like. Oh, interesting. So this is going to be a really, we're going to kind of do the same thing again last time, but hopefully with the proper amount of backspin this time. Stop on the fairways, all I want. All right. Yeah. Know that pain, man. Fairly certain I just birdied this last go through. It was a rough shot, so can't beat myself up too bad, but you know, I've had my nights where I've hit 9 out of 9 perfects in rough and bunker, and so far tonight I think I'm 0 for 3 or something like that, so I wanted to stay out of it. I need my fairway. This is going to be probably a really big hole, actually, I think, for overall placement. You know, the people that get the eagles here are probably going to be the ones, that's going to be the difference maker, I feel like, more than the par 5s, more than getting a hole in one. We got her. We got the eagle. Definitely needed it. Opponent's got a tough one. So I just kind of wanted to bring up that, like, my opponent way overmeasured that there. It worked out a little better than it should have, but he moved way too far, and that's not realizing the difference in mid, minimum, and maximum distance of your clubs. All right. Next is the par 5. Par 5. I got lucky to eagle this one last round. I don't know why, but I just felt like I grabbed my big topper for some reason. I would have been so mad. Tempted to take that left route here, but I have almost always played it from the right just historically, and am just, you know, more comfortable going that way. I know it's harder. Like, if I can get this, if I have tailwind here, there is potential to still hop to the second fairway on the right, but it's much more risky. And you can also overdo it and go to the rough, which wouldn't be that bad because it'd be a pretty short rough hole. But you could potentially also go into the water, that means. I think I'm just going to take a chance, go to the right, try to hop it. Mostly just so I know for sure when it comes to the most important rounds. As long as I don't hit water, I can save it, I'm pretty sure, so. Nice shot. Nice shot. Switch on over to our beloved Titan ball. So, right in there, right in there. That grate should be okay, I think. It was in the direction the wind was coming from. Oh, that's unfortunate. We should still be able to reach, but it's going to be a much harder shot. And he's kind of exactly showing the reason that I like going to the right. It's just a very odd distance and width of that rough patch for a hop. So you can't really do that with the short clubs. And if your club doesn't have enough backspin, it can be hard to get this ball to stop here. If you go from the right, you at least have a lot more fairway to work with. Yeah, so not a problem getting there. The question will be if I can get it in the hole still. So we're very close to max. Should be about 4.5 rings. Great. Never fun. You know, safe shot, eagle, but darn. I fight with the battle of picking my rapier over my end bringer all the time. The extra topspin is nice, and the extra backspin is really nice. But the end bringer's got a couple extra yards, so it can get you that wedge shot when the rapier can't. And it's got a little bit better of a ball guide. it doesn't feel like it because it doesn't have the same topspin, but the ball guide is actually better. Nice shot. Good save, buddy. I don't know if you've ever missed a putt like that, but I have, and it's awful. Probably the one and only time I actually wanted to throw my phone playing this game. You just should not miss that putt. All right, pull it back because we definitely don't want to use the Apocalypse here. I got no backspin on the Apocalypse. That should be decent because we're going to curl it a little bit. And I stopped right at max just to make my measurement easy. Because we all know it's 8.5 rings. It's a good shot. I saw that. I read that for a second. I was like, what? Rapist cards. Yeah, they are more frequent. I think it was when my Endbringer hit level 4 is when I was like, okay, Endbringer it is. At Endbringer 3, it was a lot tougher of a decision. The Thorn and the Hornet is another one I battled with for a while. Mostly because, you know, they have the same ball guide. They hit about the same distance. They're both rares from near the same tours, so you're pretty even with them most of the time. But that backspin, man. If the Hornet just had a little more backspin, I'd probably use it because the accuracy is really nice. It's like 15 backspin too short. All right, that was 5. The Grizzly is one I'm just really disappointed in. Like, that was the one that when it kept advertising the card before I ever got it, like, I wanted it so bad. I thought it was going to be this great club. So I think it says, like, the precision, accuracy, and ball guide of the Grizzly or something like that. And it's just not impressive. I suppose it's very possible that once it gets, like, max, it's a good club. And that's how it is for some of these clubs. They're only really good when they finally get maxed out. Was that 5? We're on 6, right? Yes. So we're going to that par 3 we just had in the shootout. And I'm going to switch to my quarterback just in case. One beautiful thing about the quarterback sniper combo is there is no difference in the clubs in terms of ball guide accuracy. So if you like are making your measurement and you realize you all of a sudden have to go up a club, you can do that without changing your measurement. So that's one of the biggest reasons I do that combo on par 3s, even if I know I'm probably going to be using the wood. There's a lot of cards, I gotta say. I just wish they would have rethought. Like, the Boomerang's one of them. The Houdini's one of them. Like, really, the only thing about the Houdini that's good is it does have the best ball guide. But everything else about it is pretty awful, really. Like, how often do you need to curl out of the bunker, you know? Same with the Boomerang. It's a wedge. When do you need to curl from like 20 yards away from the pin? There's never an obstacle in your way when you're that close. So we're going to do the same thing, except this time I'm not going to really curl it because we got the wind going to do it for us. I'm going to, the babyest amount, like basically touch your ball to the arrows to the right, just to influence it. Still too much. Stop, don't go to the back of the green. This distance of putt can be troublesome. Just far enough with enough slope on the green that if I don't hit perfect, it's not going in. So gonna have to really focus on this one. Doing pretty decent so far. Would like to keep this run going. I don't like having to repeat qualifying rounds. I will not finish a round if I get to like hole 8 and I know my score is just not going to be a good tiebreaker. Unless I'm worried that even not finishing, I might still qualify, and then it's even worse. So oh, I hit great to the right side, but never like great shots. Unless you're intending to do it to counter the wind or something. I really hope they come out with some new clubs. I don't know if you saw, Dan, I posted a post on the Golf Clash Facebook page. It's probably about a week ago now, where I screenshotted. It's a driver called the Interstellar. And it was on their actual ad, their Facebook ad to draw people in to play the game. There's like a ticker of pictures that scrolls through and has like 5 or 6 different pictures. Yeah, the Interstellar. I've never seen it. I'm curious if it's, if it was an old design that they ended up not incorporating into the game or something. Or if it's them kind of leaking that there's new clubs. Oh, you saw that last year? Yeah, that's just old news then. It's probably a design they changed. That probably turned into the rocket or something stupid. It actually looked epic, so I would guess it's the Apocalypse. What hole we go to? We going to, I believe, yeah, this is the par 4 I thought I was going to have earlier. Where I wanted the Cataclysm just in case something happens where I don't have the distance. They're going to. I just don't know how long it's going to take them. I feel like I see at least like 10 posts a day about that now. So hopefully it's soon, like really, really soon. But I have a feeling whatever they do is going to be kind of underwhelming. I can pretty much see them just saying like adding 1 level to the common cards, which means you'll use up like 4,000. I mean, depending how far you've collected. I have some of them that are about 2,500 so far. So I imagine by the time that they actually do something about it, I'll be over 3,000. So I'm not sure if they're going to do 3,000 or 4,000 for the next level. But either way, that's probably all it's going to be is like, oh, 1 more level. Or like maybe trade in 100 common cards for one rare, or 1,000 common cards for one epic, something stupid. They kind of need a huge update, like adding 3 whole new tours that are not like just repeats up to the third tee. They need 3 new tours so they can design holes to add new clubs that have purpose and tweak some of the old clubs. Like, they should make all of the epics actually epic. They should be really, really awesome clubs, at least when they get maxed out, and not just be like, oh, this is the greatest club for curling the ball. Because that's not a big enough stat. I mean, it all comes down to distance, accuracy, and top and backspin. That's pretty much everything. As long as the club's got some curl, you'll get by. So I usually like about 4 here, and I like to do 1 to 2 bars in side spin opposite whatever direction the wind's going. And then just a little curl in the opposite direction too. Generally, I feel like that fixes any slight off hits you hit better than just hitting it straight. Ooh, that was ugly, but that's why we brought the Cataclysm. I really thought there was a tiny bit more tailwind to that shot, and it was going to just hop on over. We should still be able to reach there with the Cataclysm, though. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Maybe not. I might have to take this hop shot, which sucks. That shot can be really risky. It can go wrong both directions. It can go too short and go too long without much warning. I found I like leaving myself 2 to 3 rings of space from the front here. And 4 topspins should do it. We don't really want to over curl this because we got the side spin doing it for us. Stop. Safe. Little scary, but it's safe. Should get away with our birdie. Could have done it with a touch more curl, but overdoing it can cause the wind to play way too heavy there and then make it much harder to get your line right. So I try to avoid over curling it. And I mean, the Cataclysm's got a pretty significant amount of curl, so. I normally play this hole with my sniper because that's my main club in tour play. See, he did exactly what you don't want to do. That's a really tough bunker shot because you're going to go straight uphill, so the adjustment's trickier. Pretty much just want to always get as much topspin on it. I like to leave, you know, it's about half a square length of extra on that ball. And that wind is fairly strong, so I'm going to kick it over a notch, even though it's only going to really move it a tiny bit. Ooh, that was a bad grate. Luckily, when you're that close, the room for error is pretty big, which is why it's suggested to pull that in nice and tight. I'd really like to see practice mode too. Either like a practice mode driving range kind of thing, or being able to play friends in any tour. You know, make it so I can play for 1,000 coins in Tour 7, or I can play for 1,000 coins in Tour 9, or I can play for 200 coins in Tour 7, or 200 coins in Tour 9. So we have the opportunity to practice with friends on holes, you know, maybe they might not get a chance to play, but they're going to be playing in the tournament, you know, and they can have a chance to go do it from a pro tee without having to take a huge risk in the bank. All right, hole 8 is our lovely favorite par 3. As long as we have the Saturn, yep, I want to change to the Sniper for next hole. We should be set. Well, I know I made a comment about it once on the Facebook page, and Golf Clash responded that they just didn't want people, you know, like let's say they increased the coin amount like community, like they do with the first couple tours. Tour 9 was 10 grand, even 10 grand. You know, if you're a rookie and you're trying to get into the tournament, that's one match you could just forfeit somebody, and then they could get in the tournament that they would not otherwise have been able to play. So I actually think I want to try this here. I am hoping it doesn't mess with my distance too bad. But I want that. It's got decent side spin for the amount of wind resistance. Ooh. I almost would have rathered it stay on the fringe there, I think. It's a tough hole. Yeah, one of my other friends was saying that too. I mean, I hope he's okay. Don't wish anyone any ill being. Hopefully he's just on vacation or taking a break from Facebook or something of that nature. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are happy he's not there, but, you know, he doesn't bother me, so. See, that wind, that left to right wind makes that really tricky. I'm going to be contemplating taking the bunker route for this shot. I think it's just, honestly, I think it's a Kingsmaker moment is really what it is. Tough putt in the hole. All right. Yeah, there are times it is pretty funny to read the back and forth. Like, I get where he's coming from. I had to say something earlier today because people were bitching about people playing like 900 games and having, you know, like a Thor's hammer or an Apocalypse. They're like, that's not possible. They're cheating. It's like, well, no. You don't know because you only are probably on your first playthrough, and it took you forever to get to understanding the rings and all that. Like, I didn't even look anything up until I was well over 1,500 games. I was just completely playing off feel. So I was not very good, you know? And I got kind of irritated about losing all the time and had to find some kind of method, and the ring method was it. And since I've learned it, I have gone up much quicker. Now, my main account struggles because of the amount of games and all that, so like I have harder matchups for sure on that account. But my Bird Hunter account, I'm closing in on 1,000 games. I have a level 2 Apocalypse, you know. I have almost every club unlocked. There's a couple epics that I don't have yet. But I'm playing Tour 9. There's no reason I can't unlock any card in the game. You can unlock them all after you start Tour 7. So for people to ignorantly say you can't do it without cheating made me mad, and I had to say something. Alright, we need this eagle. Get our minus 13 again at least. Oh, I made my clubs ready. We're good to go. Might as well open my pin chest because there's probably another one. Don't want to waste any pins. Ooh, Apache cards. You know I want those. And rocket cards. Quarterback that's already 850 over. Hey, one Spitfire. Look at that. That's pretty much golf class chests in a nutshell right there. Just curious. I always like looking at my opponent's stats when we're like exactly the same in banners. Just kind of a comparison, side-by-side comparison. All right, need to hit fairway here, absolutely, positively, for sure. Probably should have brought the stupid rock again. All right, safe. Should be safe. Got a shot at the eagle. Or, I mean, got a shot at the albatross for sure. As long as I don't whiff something crazy. I have accidentally let go of the target before while pulling back. That was a lot of fun. And you know it always magically happens all the way when you're at full slice. It doesn't happen on a perfect shot. It happens on a full slice. This is another one that can be tricky for just adjusting for that albatross. I think this was actually the same one I said. I think I said that last round for the same hole. Just something about it. And it, like I said, I think it's maybe something in the fairway here. There might be some kind of weird yeah, see how it transitions there? So I want to avoid that spot, I think. See, and then you get weird stuff like that where the ball guy just doesn't seem to know what it wants to do. We gotta do a quick eyeball here, unfortunately. Glad I went with that extra top or backspin. That's one of those things I wish they would figure out, like, there's something in there that is making that do that. And it happens just, I don't know, maybe 1 out of 40 shots or something like that, where the ball guide just, you move it a millimeter and all of a sudden it shows like you're rolling way past the hill, and then you move it a millimeter again and all of a sudden you're short. Like, it's not the shot. It's one of those ball guides is correct. I just wish there was some kind of explanation, because I have wasted almost entire shots messing with that just to try and see what is causing it. You know, like if it was a lip of a fringe or something. And there's times there's absolutely nothing hitting the bounce, you know, nothing funny going on at all, and it still does it. So I'd like that to be resolved. All right, well, we hit our minus 13. That was the goal. We hit it. I would like to improve on that still for the final round, but it's acceptable. Especially, I had no idea what to expect of the winds here. Now I at least have some semblance of what's going on. I can plan for the holes slightly better. Just increases our odds of getting those 1 or 2 extra shots that go in. Ooh, too much backspin there. Good thing that's a shootout. I'm thinking, I'm betting minus 13 in my bracket. It's going to be second or third. I tend to get pretty lucky with my brackets, fortunately. My first rookie tournament for my third account, I feel like was the first one I've been unlucky in a while. Where, like, I mean, I had been playing that account for just barely 2 weeks. I still had baby clubs. And I still shot a good score, but it wasn't enough. Wow, three places tied for 13. We cannot be separated. Cannot be separated. Thanks, Dan. I'll definitely take it on expert. Last couple tournaments, I actually shot better in pro than I did in expert, and I was pretty bummed about that, because I was like, man, it's the same distance. I know the wind's a little harder, but it's the same distance, and I got way better clubs in this level, so I was pretty ticked, but I'm pleased with that. I definitely will not be complaining about a minus 13 on that round. And that is going to do it. Hope everyone that follows this video in the future enjoyed it as much as I think we did here. And I will be seeing you guys come... I might do rookie on Thursday, but I'm probably going to do pro and expert on Friday, as that's my day off. So highly likely that'll be then. I might still throw up some practice sessions up during the week. And of course, if anybody has any questions, feel free to comment, leave messages, let me know what you want to see, and I will put it up. Later, guys.